Hey, it's Chrissy and Amanda.
Two girls from Saskatchewan, Canada, living the Reiki life while working the 9 to 5.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. You're here with Amanda and we have an amazing episode that is just the best timing ever to share with you because we are in this new energy of January 1st. And I know Amanda and I have talked in the past about, we like to celebrate our new year when the zodiac changes to the Aries and follow that path, like with the spring and everything. It seems like more renewal energy, but there is something to say about January 1st and the energy it brings, because I feel like as a collective, everybody is focused on that new energy, and that's something to tap into. And there's a lot of magic around this time as well, like Christmas time and the winter solstice, like a portal opens. So I just feel like there's a lot of magic to tap into. So we're going to talk about that later in the episode. But first of all, I want to welcome Amanda in and see what's going on.
Yeah, so in light of the great episode that we have, Christy and I wanted to share a little bit about our manifesting just to go along with the theme. And so I don't know if anybody remembers, but there was a new moon in February, and geez, I don't even know what new moon that would have been. Anyways, last year. And so what you do is you write out your manifestation list on the new moon, right? Because new moon is all about new beginnings, planting seeds. And then when that sign gets into the full moon again, so it takes 6 months, then you go over your list and you see what has manifested. Well, so I had my list made and I put rose petals in, a bunch of crystals. I wrote a bunch of Reiki symbols on my list and, sent my list some Reiki. And then finally, like I have this jar sitting in the window and in my Reiki room. And I've been meaning to look at this list for a few months because it has been well over the 6 months now. So I finally pulled it out and I was noticing like my list and what had come true. And I think I had about 5 things on there, and about 3 of them have already come into fruition. One of them being pregnancy. And like people who've been following the podcast, I'm going to be, when this comes out, almost 32 weeks pregnant. And I was looking at the date at the top of the list, and it says February 28th is when I made the list. And you guys, legit, that is my due date for like this year coming up is February 28th. So how wild is that? Isn't that crazy? So I feel like that is like, I don't know what. It's like extra forces we can't even explain.
Yes.
It's almost like, did I pick that date, or is this just like a happy accident, quote unquote? But anyway, so that's like my really exciting news, because we had been trying to get pregnant for a year and a bit. So it was super exciting when we finally did. And um, yeah, it was just super cool that that's how that all worked out, and can't really beat divine timing, I have to say.
No, that's like a mic drop moment. And you know what's funny? As you were saying that, I got this vision of you casting that list, writing your list, and I felt like the spirit baby was in your essence at that time. So it's just like, it's so divine. I love that so much because you cannot make this up. Like, it's just the magic of it. And, setting those intentions and setting those manifestations and then watching them come true, like, what a freaking cool feeling. Like, I love it so much. And I can't wait to meet this little one too.
Oh, yeah, it is so cool. So, if anyone else is going out there and like, trying to do the pregnancy thing, like I'm with you and I hear you and doing a lot of Reiki, but don't give up and keep doing those manifestation lists and hold the vibe. I know it's hard when you're in it. Trust me, I do, but super cool.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, I was going to share some of my manifestation magic as well. Mini manifestations, nothing like life changing like that, but it's cool to work with the universe and just see what comes up. And I was doing a practice and it was like time to cast the list. So you can cast like little mini manifestations and then a big one that can happen in 6 to 9 months. So I was like, okay, what do I want to do here? So I wrote down on my list, I wanted to, there was a workout app that I really like. And I was like, I want it to be 50% off. I don't want to pay full price for it. And then I wanted, I have a list of homeopathic books and spiritual books that I want. And, a lot of books don't go on sale. So I was like, I want this book for cheap, or any of these books for cheap, or a gift card or something like that. And then I think the third thing was a pair of black boots, really cheap. And the next, I want to say 4 days, that app that I wanted went on sale, 50% off. And then I opened up my Instagram, and one of the homeopath accounts I follow, she was giving away 1,000 copies of this book that I wanted to read. So right away I put my name in, and it shipped all the way from Australia. She's like, just pay for the shipping and we'll ship it to your door. And I was like, holy cow, what are the chances of that? And then the black boots, I was just shopping the other day, doing some Christmas shopping, and I got a pair of awesome black boots for $30, and they were half off. So it's just so wild to, when you start calling those things in, they start orbiting you, and then the universe is working with you to get those things to you. And even though they're like tiny, like, I guess like not like big things, and they're more physical, it just works with that trust muscle that, hey, I can do this. And then the weird thing is the 6 to 9 month manifestation that I cast was, it's a life-changing goal that I want to do. And I'm not going to share it right now because I feel like it's still kind of sacred. But when I did that, right after, that is when I got sick. And if you've been following the podcast for the past month, I've been sharing about this, being sick and just moving through it. And looking back at it, I feel like it was something that I needed to move through, to change the way I was doing things, to reset my nervous system, to really ground myself and figure out how to be human, how to be spiritual, how to, work with my time better, my time management. Like, all these things came through, but it knocked me on my feet. But it did that for a reason, to set me up for what I want to call in the 6 to 9 months. So it's just really cool. And, working through things and coming out of them on the other side, there's so much clarity. So yeah, so much magic. I was just blown away. So freaking cool.
I love manifestations like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're a quick manifester like that, actually. Like
Yes.
sometimes you are. Like sometimes I feel like I need to set things and I need to maybe let them go, or just like be like patient. But like, yeah. And then I hear yours always so snappy quick. And I'm like, God, it's nice. I'm like, but
Yeah.
you can set that intention too. Like, I want this, and like, I don't want to wait. And, I need this now. It's so great to hear stories like that. I will never get tired of hearing people manifest awesome stuff.
No, me neither. It's just, I love those stories so much. So if anyone ever wants to share any, send us a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it.
And hopefully, like, too, this episode helps you or inspires you to want to, take control of what you want and be in the creative mode, because we are in control of that. We
Yeah.
can decide what it's going to work for us, how it's going to work. So hopefully this motivates you to realize that too.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a great episode. We had such a good conversation, and we asked great questions, and she was so amazing to chat with. And, even after the interview ended, she took a couple minutes and she's like, and wanted to chat to us about our life. And I just thought that was so cool that, you take that moment to get to know us at that, like a personal level, because a lot of the time, sometimes these podcasts just, like the interview and then we're done. But when she took that moment, that really was so kind. And it's something that I didn't forget about this interview.
Yeah, I love that too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it was almost like, ooh, we get to maybe ask her questions if we wanted to about our stuff, which I also thought that was nice her to give us her time.
Yes, it really was. And yeah, I learned a lot about myself and my process. And yeah, it's just something to, plant that seed and start thinking about, what is your manifestation process? And do you want to start researching and find someone that can help you through this? Because I know she has books and she has lots of resources to tap into. So I'm really excited to share her with everyone.
Yeah, Absolutely. But before we get into that, we're just going to do a quick astrology update for you guys. So on January 3rd, we got a full moon in Cancer. So Cancer, of course, is a water sign. It is the Chariot card in the tarot deck. And so this can be a really good time to get some emotional clarity. I know like things can get pretty thick for some people, especially around Christmas. And it's a really good time to kind of give yourself an emotional reset and kind of let those things go and not bring them fully into this new year that we're into now. And I know it's really hard, especially just to kind of let things go. But honestly, sometimes we just need to be in the present moment and let things go. I have been reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now again.
Ah, yes,
And
classic.
holy, I was like, I think I need to read this every year. So again, it's like being in the present moment. And when we live in past future things, like that is what the focus on. And that is like, oh, it's almost triggering our body to keep bringing in those moments to us. So I've been really trying to be really conscious lately. So use this time, use this emotional cancer season to help release some of those identities, even that we carry on with us, to let go. It's like, we don't need to be that person or have that, or even if those things that happen to you are very real and maybe Christmas was super hard, no one's saying that that's not a reality for you, but we can choose to just make the next month and this month a better one. And then on January 18th, we have a new moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn is an earth sign, very grounding energy, and it's also the devil card in tarot. So I know the devil card sounds bad, but it's really too about like discipline and structure and kind of, I know this is the new moon too, but like letting go of things that keep us to procrastinate or keep us in bad habits. So really good time to focus on your career, of course, long-term strategies, building that discipline and that getting that roadmap to how we want our new year to go. Like this is a really good time, right? Because we talk about the collective's energy with this that always plays into this time of year. And like everybody has these awesome goals of like, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to do such and such or whatever it is, right? Like work on my business. And it's just like feel that energy all around you and like hop on that train. Like it is a really good energy. I know Christy mentioned we really like to celebrate that new moon in April when it's Aries season, right? But this is a really good time and I love to feed off of it. It's such a great energy. So really set those intentions and get those goal plannings right. So career, even your health, all of those things that just help your foundation would be really good. So yeah, things to keep in mind.
Yes, I love that. And that made me think of one year I started a new habit on January 11th. So it's 111. And I feel like, when the calendar changes to January 1st, it's like, oh, I got to give up sugar, do all this, go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you kind of give yourself that grace period of going into January. And then when January 11th fell, it just felt like a right time to integrate something. And yeah, and even like some people want to do a whole bunch of things, just pick one thing that you can focus 15 to 30 minutes on a day and create a new habit. That's what I am working on. I just listened to a Mel Robbins podcast about habits, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. So it's just that starting small with those little habits, and they just snowball after a while, and they just create more change and more positivity. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Marking that right now.
Yeah. Well, and I was told once that like people can't multitask. Like even though we think we can, it's like we really do need to bring our focus onto one thing.
Yeah.
And then like when we got a good grasp on that, then we can maybe add another thing in, right? Compound things. But like it is pretty important actually to focus on one thing
Yeah.
at a time.
100%. When you're doing everything, nothing is important. You need to do that
Yeah.
one thing. Like I remember someone said that to me and I was like, oh, that's so true. And that was one of my big lessons I moved through when I got sick was I can't multitask because I've been pushed to multitask in our job. Remember that one job we had where it was like you were praised to multitask on all 500 different things. And that's the way my brain was wired. And it was just that I would be working, listening to a podcast. I'd be doing this and I'd be listening to an audiobook. And it's just like, just focus on one thing. Cause yeah, there is a lot of research now that we are burning out our minds when we're multitasking. We are more successful if we focus on one task at a time. So I've been working in silence at home. And at first it was uncomfortable, but now I just love it because I'm just focusing on one thing and my brain is just like, oh, hallelujah.
Yeah, I actually think that'd be harder for a lot of people
Yeah.
than the other because of the way we're conditioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
myself included.
Yeah. It's like you got to push through. You got to do all these things at once or nothing's going to get done. And it's just, yeah, it's just, that's a lot of like culture stuff with us and our, yeah. So it's interesting. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the episode today.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy.
So on today's episode, we are joined by the incredible Kelsey Aida, a best-selling author, transformation coach, and self-love advocate who's helped thousands of people learn how to truly receive joy, abundance, and alignment in their lives. Kelsey is known for her empowering books for Affirmation for Happiness and Letters to the Universe, her workshops on manifestation and self-worth, and she has a podcast, High Vibin' It, where she inspires deep healing and a side of humor and authenticity. In this conversation, we're diving into manifestation, how it works and how it can work for you, because it definitely can, self-love, and how it is safe to have everything. I think a lot of people are really scared to, kind of like maybe feel greedy, quote unquote. So I want us to really debunk that because people can shoot big, and I want people to know to do that. Go for everything. So welcome, Kelsey.
Thank you. Heck yeah. I'm all for debunking the greedy narrative because that's just silly. In what world does you living your best life not bless everyone around you?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, I wanted to talk about like, what was your journey finding this work? Like, what brought you here today?
Yeah. So as most like healers' journeys go, it started with my first dark night of the soul, which was when I was in my teens, and my whole life I was studying and training to be a professional dancer. And around like age 12 to 14, my body was just like breaking down, not having it. I injured my hip. I injured my back. I have always had hypermobility. So I've been really flexible, which for a dancer is amazing, but not if you keep injuring yourself from overdoing it, right? So that dream basically got crushed. And when that happened, it sent me like spiraling into a long depressive episode. And I ended up in depression for about 3 long, sticky years. And towards the end of that, I just was like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I used to love my life. I used to be happy. I used to be bubbly. I used to have friends. I used to have hobbies. Like, where did I go? What happened to me? And I kind of like said this Hail Mary prayer to God, spirit, and the universe, and my spirit team, and anyone. I was like, anyone who is here to help me, like, please help me. Send the help. I'm ready to feel better. Like, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do. And so, of course, when I said that prayer, it was answered through like working with a great therapist and a shaman and like learning about energy and learning about your mindset. And that kind of led me to the world of manifestation. And when I started healing and that started working for me, I was like, oh, the control freak in me was like so pleased. I was like, we can literally control our life through our energy and our thoughts. This is crazy, So then years of practicing that, wanting to teach it, I wanted to write books. Like I had this knowing that I was meant to be an author, but I had no idea like where to start. So I was just like, well, I don't want to write my first book in vain and like no one to read it. So let me start a blog. So I started blogging about like anxiety and depression and how to heal and loving yourself and everything that was working for me. And in doing that, I grew like a very, very modest following. And in that, I was like, okay, I'm ready to self-publish my first book. So I did that. And that first book was called #ActuallyICan, The Art of Affirming Yourself to Greatness. And it's basically like an affirmation guide, but from the perspective of like, don't say fake stuff that you don't believe. Like, don't be like, I'm a millionaire. I'm the prettiest person I know. I am X amount of pounds when you're like not, and you feel stupid. So instead of doing that, how can we practice more authentic affirmations that we can actually get behind that really do open our energy to possibility and excitement, but still feel grounded in like reality? So that was my first book. And then fast forward many years later, it's just evolved into the podcast, High Vibing It, hosting radical self-love retreats, a couple online courses, more books. And I just finished writing my 4th published book, which is going to come out in 2026 called The Manifesting Fix. But really, I'm just like all about helping people live their best life, because what I learned when I was depressed is that like living is fine, but quality of life is what we need to like enjoy living. So I don't know. I just find energetic alignment to be really fun and fascinating and a good cheat code for life. So I like to teach it to people.
Yes, and we can both relate to that dark night of the soul. I'm sure everybody listening to this can. They're not fun, but really getting through those is such a learning experience. And I wanted to ask you, so what do you think of the phrase like fake it till you make it? Do you disagree? Yeah.
I understand like the good intention behind it of like practicing what you want to be and who you want to be. Like, I don't disagree with like the energy of it, I guess. But the beef that I have with the phrase fake it till you make it is like, faking it is not going to help your subconscious mind do anything, because your subconscious mind is like the identity police. And if you're putting on a show, if you're faking it, your subconscious mind is like, hello, you're a fraud. This is not real and this is unsafe and that's not your life. So girl, stop. Like, abort mission. What are you doing? Who do you think you are? Like, this is dumb. So it doesn't work from that perspective. I was actually just writing about this in my new book. Instead of faking it till we make it, I encourage embodying it till you make it, right? Let's bring those feelings into our body. Let's actually become that person. And in doing that, like, you are making it. You're not faking it till you're making it. You're just making it happen now.
Right.
Yeah, that's really key. You need to embody that into your body and be it. You can't, because you're right. Your subconscious knows you're faking it. So it's almost like, well, this isn't working.
Right. Like, who are we kidding here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on like how self-love is like the ultimate manifestation, because I feel like that is like, I've done manifestation in the past and I just feel like, yeah, like if you sit there and think like, I'm going to be a millionaire and all of this, but you don't actually feel like you're worthy of receiving that, then that's another like layer to manifestation that I wanted to dive into.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I always say that self-love is the ultimate manifesting like method. So it helps you to manifest, but also like, without it, any manifesting method that you do or any blessings that you do successfully call in, like, how are you going to fully receive and maintain those if you don't feel like you deserve them, or if you don't feel like you're good enough for them, or if you don't feel worthy of them? Like, those worthiness blocks are really important to address, and it's easiest to just like get them out of the way in the beginning. But I like to think of like, also, it's not just our relationship with ourselves, right? It's like our relationship with desire has gotten so messed up because it's been so wrong to want things, and it's selfish, like how we alluded to in the beginning, right? There's all this programming about why you shouldn't want what you want. But my whole understanding and what feels true to me is that when you want something genuinely from your heart, it's not for no reason, and it's not only for you. Like, when I wanted to write any of the books that I've written, there was readers who wanted to read it. So everything is a co-creation, right? That business you want to start is going to help the community that it's in, like the coaching services that you want to offer or the gifts that you want to cultivate. Like, these desires are not random. They are assigned to you for a reason. So I'm of the camp that it's selfish not to fulfill your desires, because then you're not just depriving yourself, you're depriving everyone who's going to be on the receiving end of whatever it is that you want. So that's one thing. But also coming back to the self-love, it's like without that key piece, you can do all the magic, all the manifesting, all the things. And even if you get it, like even if you get the most devoted, loving partner, you've been calling in love forever, and he's like, you're so beautiful, I love you so much, you're going to be like, oh, me? You know, you're not even going to receive like their love, or you're not even going to receive the friends or the money or the dream house, because you're going to keep questioning yourself in the back of your mind. And like, I think a lot of people's lack of self-love just really comes from programming, because if you look at like a puppy or a baby, like they love themselves very much. They are extremely demanding. They never question if they like deserve the bottle or the treat. They're just like, give it to me, you know? So I think we could just revert a little bit back to that energy and be better for it.
You know, too, that self-love, you know, even if people were in a good vibration and then they do get it, they can't hold on to it. So
Right,
like, let's
they'll
say
sabotage
you get
a
the
lot.
money. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like the money's gone. Like it's gone in three, you know, so quick they can't keep it. So like that's another thing that kind of goes in with that self-love, is like knowing you're deserving and it's safe to have.
Yes, the safety is key. And I think it's like you have to build your tolerance for blessings, right? Like let things in incrementally, like expand your tolerance and show, like prove to yourself and your body that it is safe to receive. Because a lot of times we like to look at our past and be like, oh, remember when that good thing happened? But then right after that super bad thing happened. And then every time we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it's like, okay, what if that's actually a meaning and a pattern that you assigned to your life, right? Like every time something good happens, something bad has to happen. If we deleted that narrative from your mind and you could just let good things happen and make that okay and safe, then what could you do with that? You know, then that's a really beautiful thing where you can start to receive incrementally and then get more and more comfortable with receiving. And then before you know it, you're just a receiving machine.
And I am so hyper aware of people who say things like, oh, I knew things were going too well. Or it's just like, oh, of course this would happen to me. I hear that and I just cringe. It's like, yeah, because that's the energy you're putting out. So what do you think? That's exactly what's going to happen. You always get sick twice a year? Yeah, exactly. You totally will. It's like,
and also like bad things happen to everyone. Like, so what? What makes you so special that they like always pick you? Like, that's just not true.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we should kind of back up though and kind of explain to people like what manifesting is, if people are kind of new to it. Like how does it work? Like let's talk about like specifics quick.
So my take on manifesting is that it's not only it is only energy from a macro perspective, but from like a more micro perspective, like there is also action involved. So the way that the law of attraction has been taught is that it's simply like energy attracts like energy, which leads you to believe that your thoughts alone can attract your entire reality. And that's not the complete truth. It's not wrong, but there's just more to it. It's really your identity, who you are, who you believe you are, who you vibrate as, the feelings that you hang out in, the environments that you choose, the choices that you make, the people that you're with. Like there are so many points of attraction that bring opportunities and blessings to us or repel them away, which is why I have to keep writing books about it, because it's just not that simple. And really the premise is that you can be an empowered creator. And I believe that we are created in the likeness of God. And if God's the ultimate creator and we are God's children created from and of God, then like we also have creative abilities. We are not God with a capital G. We're just like a fractal, a little speck of God, right? So you can't just like control the weather with your mind, but you do have influence and power over your life, and especially over your mind, which can create so much energy, as you guys know, being energy experts, and over your body. And you can influence a lot of what you are an energetic match to. So that's the concept there. I like to teach manifestation from a place of calling things in, but also actively meeting them out in real life. So like, you know, if you want to meet the love of your life, maybe try like leaving your house. Or if you want like some more networking opportunities or partnerships or meet more people, like also maybe that's probably not going to be like the Uber Eats delivery guy, you know, like not all things are just going to show up on your doorstep because you want them to. You have to meet the universe halfway, and you have to like get the energy moving. And when I was doing research for my latest book, The Manifesting Fix, I realized that manos, like hands in Spanish, the Latin word for MAN is almost like, it's actually MANUS. I think it's manus, something like that. It means to be caught in the act of. So you're not caught on the couch, just manifesting your little life away. You are caught in the act of creating something, of doing something, of achieving something. So I like to think of manifestation as the beautiful dance of like creating and receiving. You're living super intentionally. You're unapologetic about your desires. You're going for them, but you're also aligning with them, which is like where the mindset work comes in, which is where, you know, getting a Reiki tune up comes in, which is where any sort of energy work that's going to help you become more of a vibrational match to what you want is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great way to explain it. And, you know, I've been stuck on the couch thinking about what I want and just like going through days and not doing anything. But it's like, soon as you get up and you start that new action, that's when the ball starts rolling, because you're telling the universe like, hey, I'm worthy of this. I want this to happen. So
exactly.
For somebody that like wanted to, you know, start small, I've heard of like, you know, manifesting like a free cup of coffee or like a friend coming over, like just like little things. Is that where you recommend people to start?
I mean, if that's where you feel more comfortable and you want to like test the waters, it's a fun place to start. A great book for that, that's kind of like a little bit older. It's called E Squared by I want to say the author is Elizabeth someone, but E Squared with like E with like a little 2. And that book is full of fun manifestation experiments where you can like prove to yourself that it's real with things that you probably don't have a lot of resistance to. Like the reason why it's good to start with small things like a free cup of coffee or a great parking spot is because you don't have stories and narratives about why that's bad or why that would ruin your life or why you don't want that right now or why now's not a good time, or you don't have resistance to those things. So they are easier to manifest because, I mean, the only thing that hinders manifestation really is, you can call it an energetic blockage. I call it resistance. So let's say you might want more money, but you think rich people are evil and you like hate Elon Musk and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be like them. They're the enemy, you know, so you're never going to let yourself receive it because you have resistance to it. Or like with love, let's say you want to manifest love, but you're like so heartbroken still from the last person. You haven't worked through that yet. And you're just like terrified. Anyone who's nice or kind or invites you on a date, you're just like, and you don't like go, you just sabotage because you're like, I can't be hurt again, you know? So it's like these sneaky little resistance patterns that show up are really the only thing stopping us from manifesting anything, from stopping us from taking action, stopping us from letting it in, stopping us from saying yes. So that's what my latest book is about, The Manifesting Fix, how to fix your energy and get in alignment and release the resistance, throw it in the garbage, work through it, whatever you got to do, because it can show up in a lot of ways, unfortunately and annoyingly.
And it will come in through that channel of least resistance too. So it will, yeah, making sure you're clear for that. And, you know, too, I think a lot of people forget like their desires are, like you said, how we are like the fragments of God. It's like those desires are put in us from that God source, from spirit. Like if you didn't have the desire to have it, you wouldn't have the ability to have it. So it's like you can trust those things. Like if you want more money in your life, money is just a resource for you to be able to have your own Reiki space or be able to do your job well, pay for good childcare, eat good foods that make us feel healthy. Like I think people have that association, which subconsciously in turn blocks them because they don't want to be like the so-and-so who does, maybe not the greatest things with their resources and their wealth, but like make a list of all those people who are like those philanthropists and doing all the wonderful things. Like you're helping people, you're a great person. Just, yeah, we need to keep those kind of people in mind when we're trying to harness in our vibration and our manifestations, for sure.
Yeah, because anything you look for evidence for, you can find it. So what's the narrative that you want to believe? What's the belief that you want to program into your mind that's going to actually help you welcome in and go for the goal? So you want to look at those goals. You want to look at your desires and be like, okay, what do I need to believe here that'll give me energy to move towards it? And when it's coming towards me, I'm not getting scared. I'm getting excited. I'm feeling open. I want to welcome it and let it into my life. Like, what are those beliefs? What does that need to be?
Yeah. Yeah. And, it gets me thinking about like our listeners. And, a lot of our listeners are Reiki practitioners that got their Reiki and now they want to start their business and they start it up and then it's like crickets. And It's like, what would you tell a practitioner, like somebody new into something, like how are you going to like attract your ideal client? Like what would that look like in manifestation?
Yeah. So I have a lot of practical advice because I'm actually a cosmetologist by trade. So similarly, I work with people all the time. I'm touching them. I'm moving their energy. Like I do a lot of witchery on my clients that they don't really even know about, but they feel it. They'd be like, oh my God, it's the best scalp massage ever. I'm like, I know, because I'm healing your little G. But so like, for example, when I started doing hair, I feel like number one, working with clients is just like confidence. The more confident you are, the more people will be attracted to you and the more you will want to like promote your services. Because if you're like feeling unsure about yourself, that's going to be a huge blockage in building the business. So I'd say first, build your confidence, which means just practice on friends, practice on family, give away free sessions if you need to at first, just so you can like feel grounded and comfortable in your gifts and skills. And then once you're feeling confident enough and you're getting people results, like collecting those testimonials, asking them to spread the word. Like when you do a business that's people oriented, I think we're so much in a social media world that we forget that it's like so much about word of mouth. Even like with my new book that I'm promoting, I'm like, how can I meet people in person, talk to them about the book, they read it, and then they talk to their friends about the book. Like you as a business owner want other people to be talking about your business. So create a great service for people, create a great experience, make it memorable, and come from a place of love. And over time, like that's going to spread. And I think the hardest thing about entrepreneurship and being self-employed, which I've pretty much always been self-employed, is it's a spiritual journey. Like entrepreneurship will grow you and stretch you and it'll make you question everything. It'll make you doubt everything. There's so many chapters where you're like, oh my God, do I have to live under a bridge? What's going on? Like that's a normal part of the process. So I think if you can accept, okay, I'm choosing my heart. Like I want to have my own business because it's going to give me freedom. I know in some chapters of that, it's going to be tougher than working a 9 to 5, but like it's worth it. And then committing to that. Like one of the things that people miss so often in manifestation is they think it's about like wishing and hoping and dreaming, but it's like, no, you have to commit to the dream. Like lock in and stay in for as long as it takes, until you realize, okay, truthfully, maybe this isn't for me. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs doubt too soon in the process. And I think there's something to be said about not giving up, even when it's hard, even when it sucks. Like, for example, my husband, he used to play football in college and in the NFL. So he's had a very elite career there. But then after that, he had like an identity crisis of like, okay, now that I don't do sports, like, who am I? What do I do? And a lot of professional athletes go into sales afterwards because they're super competitive. So it just like works for their personality. So he's been in sales for a long time until I met him. And then he wanted to make more money. And of course, I'm the money manifester. So I'd be like meditating, journaling, scripting, making it all happen behind the scenes. And I was like, universe, honestly, just like send me the most amount of money in the easiest way possible. Like, I'm tired of insisting that it has to come through my books or it has to come through my courses or it has to come this way or it has to come that way. Like, I'm leaving it up to dealer's choice and just send me the money. Like, I'm open. Send me the money. Literally like a week later for my husband's birthday, he got an email from a commercial real estate brokerage asking if he wanted to become a commercial real estate broker. And he was like, well, yeah, this is perfect. I already know how to sell stuff. I always just wanted to sell bigger things where I could make bigger commissions. And here we are. So he got that opportunity. And we were so excited. But he had never been self-employed, right? So this was like a learning curve. For the whole entire first year, he didn't make $1. $0 for a year. Okay. Not very many people can withstand that with that kind of financial pain. Luckily, I make good money with my jobs and my work. So it was fine. I was supporting us, but he was freaking out. Okay. He was low key, like losing it. He was questioning everything. He was like, did I do the right thing? Did I ruin my life? Is this not going to work? Have I been sold this pipe dream? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Fast forward. He's 3 years now into the business. And he's about to make roughly $100,000 off of one deal.
Wow.
So that's just like the quantum leaping that can happen when you have the faith, but you have to hold it. Because if you drop the faith when it's hard, then you miss like the growth and the opportunities on the other side of the hard part. You know, and I think in the manifestation world, we're taught that it's supposed to be so easy when you're in alignment. And like, yes, that's true. Your energy will be super leveraged and charged when you're in alignment. But that doesn't mean the journey is always going to be like rainbows and butterflies. There's always contrast before expansion. So when you're in that contrast, like, you don't have to question it. It's a part of the process. And I think once we know and accept that, it makes it easier to go through and endure for the small periods of time that we need to endure.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, that reminds me of that story. I think it was in Think and Grow Rich, where they quit when they're like 2 feet away from striking gold. And it's just like, you know, anyone else in your husband's situation after a year would have been like, okay, well, this is obviously not for me. And I'm just it's easier for me just to throw it in. But having that perseverance and holding the faith, even though it hasn't shown up yet, I think is a huge part in keeping that manifestation. So when someone is really trying to call something in, whether it's a relationship or a new job, money, like, should they be like in a constant flow of that manifestation, like looking at it every day, writing it out all the time? Or is it like something that you set it and then leave it alone? Like, what do you think is the best plan of action?
That's a great question. I think it depends on the individual, and I think it depends how you feel when you're paying attention to it. So if you're someone who can look at it daily and that always is making you excited and energized, then like stay connected to it. But if you're looking at it daily and you're feeling like overwhelmed by it, or you're questioning the how a lot, or it's just not feeling expansive to like focus on it that hard, then don't. Just like set it and forget it and focus on the areas of your life that do make you feel open and excited and expanded and energized. And when you hang out in those energetic states long enough, the things that you've asked for in other areas of life will show up because of how you're showing up in the other areas, if that makes sense. So I think sometimes we can focus too hard on what we want and hyper obsess to a point of like driving ourselves crazy, which I don't recommend, although I have done it many times. But
me too.
Also, like, there's a balance, right? I think it is very beautiful to set something and forget it in a sense, because you're like showing your trust. You're like, okay, I'm going to put this in my little dream jar. I'm going to script a letter to the universe about this. I'm going to say a prayer, and then I'm just going to like let it go. Like, I'm not going to obsess over it all week. I'm not going to think about how it's going to happen, what action I have to take. Like, let me just put it out there and see what happens next. And I think that's a really powerful place to hang out too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes I find that tricky, like with the surrender and then surrendering too far, where I get too far off, like kind of forget about it. And it's like, oh shoot. Yeah. And I have such a hard time committing to one thing. Cause then I think,
that's so hard. Do you guys know your human design types?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to, kind of pull into that because I think that makes a difference, right? Like Christy said.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it does. I'm a manifesting generator. Are you a
Yeah,
manifesting
me too.
generator?
Yeah, I
You
am.
are, Amanda, and I'm a manifester.
Manifester. Okay, cool. Yeah. Manifesting generators, we're an interesting kind. I usually can see them from a mile away because I'm just like, wow, you're just like me. I never meet other people like me that are so like have their fingers in so many different cookie jars at the same time, like doing hair and writing a book and doing this and doing that.
God.
So I appreciate that. And manifestors too. That's very, very potent initiator energy to be in.
And you know what's funny is so when I was manifesting a relationship, I like wrote out my list of like these are the qualities I want in my spouse, and then I like kind of like put the list away. But then I was like in my car and I'm listening to that song Lover by Taylor Swift, right? Like I am literally embodying what it would be like to be in this loving full relationship. And I don't even know, like I knew I was doing that in a way, but I don't think I was as like it didn't feel like obsessive like I get when I'm trying to
Yeah.
manifest in clients or money. Like then I'm like I'm holding that vibration all day. Like I'm thinking about it in the morning and then at night and then during the day I'm listening to something. Like it's a weird like obsessive thing, but like the man came in and came in good and it worked. So it's funny how even those two different things give me different vibrations almost. I don't know. It was so weird.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you probably just have like a little more resistance to money than love. Would you say
Probably.
that's
Or
true?
maybe more like less trust that if like it's
Yeah.
safe to like have it in the awareness and let it go.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So like why wouldn't it be safe to trust that like money can come?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's probably just because I didn't like grow up with a lot, right? Or I've been in, even like in my young 20s figuring stuff out, right? Like working two jobs and just thinking like you got to work really hard for money. So I feel like I have to work really hard on my manifestation to earn that money too, or else it won't come.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a
Right.
limiting belief I need to throw out because like who needs that?
Yeah.
Not
And
me.
like it just means you're just not used to it. Like you're just not
Yeah.
used to having a lot of money, but like you will be one day. So that's fine.
Yeah. And already I've actually noticed the shift from like even 2 years ago. I've
Yeah.
like,
Heck
it's
yeah.
just a way better flow and it's awesome. My goals get higher every month and I love it.
Yeah. And money is such like a fun manifesting thing that can compound over time. And like we see that obviously like in the stock market and stuff, but even in your business, because you get more skilled, you get more confident, you get more clients, so it is something that can just keep like growing exponentially. And then you just keep expanding your tolerance for how much you can like accept into your life pretty much.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right. Because, I'm thinking of like my journey, and my problem was that I didn't have problems manifesting that money in. But like, say I got $250 and then that I called in, and then I would get a bill for that exact amount.
Right.
So it would come in and then it'd go right out, and I'd get so mad about it.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
did
real
you
thing.
is there anything you can point to that like helped you shift out of that or that made a difference or a change?
Yeah, it's actually in my Akashic work, there's a vow that you can take, a vow of poverty where you swear off
Yep.
money because you think it's evil, just like I talked about. And soon as I cleared that, and I started noticing the money was coming in, and then I was like, hey, I get a smaller bill. So it's still and then it like slowly blossomed. And now I have the most savings I've ever had in my entire life. So it was something that I had to let go of, and I found the root of it, like the root of it in a past life. And it's just like, yeah, it's wild. Like
working with past life stuff and the Akashic records is so fun and so wild. And like, I couldn't write about it in this book because it's not something people can really always do just by themselves. It's easier with like a practitioner. So I didn't want to be like, here's how to do your own past life regression. Here's how to open your own Akashic records, like on the spot. But I mean, if you know people who do that, like you guys, that can be such a helpful tool in your resistance releasing personal growth journey, because it's true. So much stuff is tied to ancestral stuff or past life things. And you can really just, once you bring some awareness and shed some light on that, it doesn't have to be a problem anymore, like at all. It's crazy how fast you can just be like, okay, I don't vow to poverty anymore. Goodbye, poverty.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amen. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lay that law down.
Yep,
I agree.
exactly.
Yeah, we both had to do inner work just on, getting rid of limiting beliefs like that. And it's wonderful when you know somebody who can absolutely help you with that, like you said. But I love the tips and the tools that you promote with what can they do to take charge, right? And like, I love to be in control just like you do, right? Maybe it's that manifesting generator. So it's like, you can be in control and still manifest by sending it away because you're controlling your environment and your thoughts all the time. So it's like, that's
True.
actually a really common place that I live in, is that control place.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people who get into manifestation and the law of attraction, we come from a good place, but really like we just want to use it to control our lives. And it's not about controlling your life. It's about creating in your life and like being intentional in your life. But we can just get like so high off of it. Like, oh my gosh, more control. Yes. But it's like, no, that's not it. we need to do a little bit of surrender, a little bit of co-creating, a lot of intentionality, and a lot of alignment. Like that's the recipe.
A way better word, creating instead of controlling.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
And as you're
Because
saying
controlling is just like stressful because you're never going to do a great job at controlling everything because you can't do it.
No, that's impossible.
Another thing too that I wanted to ask you, it's like I wanted to ask you about like energetic. I heard this really great term about energetic minimums and energetic maximums.
Okay.
So it's kind of like how Christy said, like she'll manifest something and then a bill will come, or it's like, we kind of cap ourselves off and it's hard to break through that next cycle. Is there like, are you still doing the tried and true things that you've always been doing, like that, the basic, I guess, kind of work, or is there new stuff you need to do when you get to like a new level? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really interesting and great question. I feel like it's both. I feel like as you evolve on your spiritual journey, like you learn about more tools and resources along the way. And then it's really fun and exciting to use them and embrace them for your personal development. But at the same time, like I do a lot of just coming back to the basics. So for example, I've written one of my books is a manifestation journal called Letters to the Universe. And it's basically my special scripting method where I do this certain like self-inquiry process and I ask myself these really specific questions. And then after I've gotten the clarity and meditated and like answered those questions, then I write a letter to the universe and I just script about my desire. So I've been doing that for years. And every time I want something new or different or still, I'll just go back to that process and do it again. So I'm like always coming back to scripting because I love writing things out by hand. Obviously, I'm a writer. I'm extremely visual. So I like visualizing through writing. Like it slows me down versus just like seeing it in my head for 5 seconds. And that for me, like tried and true, it works. I used it to manifest my husband, my house, like great clients, like everything. So I'm always coming back to that. Even though I've been doing it for like a decade, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write a letter about it and it's going to manifest. But then also like the basics of just exercise, water, sunlight, sleeping good, like just basic self-care can go such a long way for your vibration. A good sauna session, a great massage, just loving on yourself, like constantly nourishing yourself and resourcing yourself will keep you super high vibrational. And then when you do go to manifest things or ask for things or create things, you have the energy for it and you're open and ready to receive it. So that's kind of like my spiritual maintenance is just like very much self-love, self-care vibes, strong boundaries, and meditation is really important. I like meditating in the sauna these days. Hydration, very important. Like, yes to the basics. And I think when you learn new tools, like let's say you discover human design or like past life regressions, like those are fun to use too. But I don't think it's too much about the method or the tool. I think whatever is meant for you, like will find you and you'll know that it's working, because like you'll be having fun or feeling relief when you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, having fun. That's so important. Because like I set up my, like I have, we work 9 to 5. So when I have like a day off, I'll set it up like I'm self-employed that day. So I was like, wake up, I have a slow morning, I drink my tea, and then I get into work and I like have so much fun. And it's like, would this be what my life would look like? And it's neat to do those little pieces of it until we do commit and leave the job, which is like the scariest thing that Amanda and I talk about all the time. We're texting.
Girls,
like,
it's so scary, but so good. Okay, so let me tell you a story about this. So I'm still doing hair, even though I've known for years that it's almost time to leave and retire from that. Okay. So here's my spiel on this. For some people, like the most self-loving thing to do is just like go all in and take the leap, right? That's going to be their journey. For other people who would feel completely dysregulated by doing that, and who would panic so hard that they wouldn't have any energy for the new business that they're trying to create, that's not the most self-loving thing. So I have been weaning off of doing hair and leaning into writing books and building an online business and manifesting for my husband to be rich so that I can do whatever the fuck I want. So it's like, just opening yourself to the new reality, but not shaming yourself for like, oh, like I should have jumped ship by now. Why haven't I done it? It's that dance of like easing yourself into the new life in a really gentle, self-loving way.
Okay. Yeah. I love that actually for us, Christy, because you're right. Do you hear people and they're like, this happened and then I got forced in and then they took the leap. And it's just like, oh, I love the idea of that. But my heart, like, I want to puke almost thinking about just jumping off that cliff, right? Because it's like, I got dependents. Like, I got a kid. I got one cooking right now in my belly. Like, I'm just like, I got other people to think about. Christy has a spouse too, and responsibilities. So it's like, yeah, I love the wean. The wean makes me feel like a comfort blanket, and which is kind of like what I think we're doing, and that's great. I like. It's so funny actually that you're still doing hair, because I even see you and what you got going on. Like, but you must like it. If you're still doing
I do. I'm getting physically tired from it because it's very physically demanding and it's very emotionally demanding, and you're talking all day long. And something about turning 30, let me tell you, I'm just, now I'm in my 30s, I'm like, people, I don't want to be around people all day, every day. Sometimes I just want to be in my own energy with my computer writing something magical that I can send through the interwebs and people can enjoy it. And I don't have to talk to them all day, every day,
Yeah. I can totally relate to that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I know you guys understand what that's like.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely. And
you just have to give yourself the grace, to transition. Like even I struggle sometimes, and I'll be like, girl, why haven't you quit already? Like your spirit team told you need to quit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like I'm not ready. I'm almost ready. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. And I'm planning on it. Like it's in the plans. It's happening. We're enacting the plan. I'm just following through on the plan. Like as long as your plan isn't like a 20-year plan to exit, we gotta have some personal boundaries here. But yeah, I think it's a different answer for everyone, right? There's no one size fits all. But I do find that leaning and jumping in a like cautious way is okay too. Like I have always been a super cautious person ever since I was little. My sister, on the other hand, she's like a free spirit wild child. So we're totally opposite. It's just us two. When we were little, my sister would be like, Daddy, catch me, and like jump off of like the 10th stair, right? She's already midair before he even like sees it, like has a chance to catch her. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks so fun. Let me try. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like on stair 10. And I'm like, no. So I go down to stair 8. I'm like, no. I go down. I'm like 2 stairs away. He's like, Kelsey, you're not even far. Like, this is not a jump. And I'm like, this is where I'm jumping from. This feels good. That's just who I am, and like I have to honor that, like I'm not gonna stress myself out and put unnecessary pressure on my life if I don't need or want to. And I like money, and I make a lot of money doing hair, so there's a golden handcuff situation happening.
I know. I think that's also part of our issue too. It's just like, well, if I do both jobs, but it's like hindering a little bit on what things could be. Christy, did you have any more questions? I wanted to get into your courses, but I don't want to jump to that until unless you're.
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, sweet. So, Kelsey, I saw online that you offer a mini course, which is so affordable for people, and then you have a master course as well. Can you talk about your courses?
Yeah, so these are the money manifesting ones that you're talking about. There's a mini course called the Money Magnetics mini course, which is so hard to say 5 times fast. And that one is, I made it affordable because I wanted lots of people to be able to experience it. And it's basically just 3 video lessons that you could complete in like an hour. They're not long. And it helps you to really like uncover and delete your resistance to money and kind of reprogram yourself and fix your mindset about it. Because I think that's one of the hardest parts. And then if you want to graduate past that, there's a master course that also not thousands of dollars that can help you to just totally like redo your whole money vibe from the inside out. So there's mindset work, there's tapping work, there's affirmations, there's all the modalities that I like and use to build more wealth, call more money in, be really smart and strategic with money. Obviously, it's not financial advice because I don't come at it from that angle. It's more energetic alignment to the tune of money. So those are the 2 money courses. But I also have an older course called Radical Self-Love that helps women to love themselves like wholeheartedly, unapologetically. And in that one, I teach you how to release your resistance to loving yourself, because if you're not loving yourself, you probably are resisting self-love for a valid reason that we need to work through. And then once you work through that, you go into a bunch of practical everyday ways to like nourish yourself, program yourself for self-love, and just live your most self-loving life.
I love that. That sounds great. Like, it's so important to love yourself, and, you know, having those like heart opening experiences is just something that like have come more often to me. And it's just something I really hold dear to my heart that I've never had before. And, you know, you got to get to know yourself the best and love yourself the best. 'Cause really at the end of the day, it's between you and you.
Yep. And especially when you're a giver, like I'm sure so many people listening to this podcast are just so giving and so loving to everyone else, and they can just easily forget themselves. But it's like, you have to remember to love yourself, because when you nourish yourself, that's when you're going to have more to give. Like the reason I'm able to be a great wife and a sister and a daughter and a friend and a hairstylist and an author and this, that, and the other is because I'm constantly nourishing myself. So I have like almost endless amounts of energy. And when I'm running out of energy, I rest. And if I don't rest, I get sick and then I rest. So it's like
forced to rest.
You know, you got to honor the bod. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many like fun ways to just live your best life. And I find that self-love and manifestation, they just go hand in hand, because like we talked about, like loving yourself more just puts you in a higher vibration. You're literally like honoring God's creation, because God created you the way you are. So it's like improving your relationship with God. It's literally not selfish at all, because then the better you can love yourself, the better you can love other people. Period. End of story. If you have a horrible relationship with yourself, you will hurt other people. So there's that. And then as far as the money manifesting piece, like I have felt from the collective that money is something that we want and need to master. And that's why I created those money magnetics courses, because obviously inflation is out of control. I don't know how it is where you live, but the dollar is getting devalued like by the second. So everyone's getting stressed out and feeling constricted and not resourced. And I think life is just too short to not feel resourced and not tap into the energy of financial abundance. And I think there are still ways to become and be financially abundant. And I just want people to be resourced and love themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so key, like you said, to manifesting, because if you don't think you're worthy of those things, and then too, the more that you love yourself and get to know yourself, then you know what kind of blocks that you might have subconsciously, or how you work or how you operate, and you can work with yourself in that good manner.
Exactly. The more that you just get curious about yourself, the more you naturally come to understand yourself. The more you understand yourself, the more self-compassion you have. The more self-compassion you have, the easier that life and literally all relationships is. And what I'll say to kind of wrap this up is that life is literally just like a series of relationships. Like you have a relationship to social media, to your computer, to your phone, to your dog, to your car, to your spouse, to your body, to working out, to eating, to manifesting. Like literally everything is a relationship. And when you can master the relationship with yourself, all the other ones get easier. And the law of attraction, aka the law of mirroring, will reflect that back to you via your outer circumstances. So if you get it right on the inside, if you get it aligned there, it's going to be shown to you through your life and relationships.
Yes. Yeah. I just love that so much. That was such a great way to wrap up this conversation today. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and your books can be found anywhere and everywhere. We'll put them in the show
If you just
notes.
search Kelsey Aida on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever, you'll find them. The courses, just go to kelseyAida.com. You'll see those there. You'll also find the books there. I do have a free meditation that people can download there that will help you to connect with the energy of abundance. And that creates some fun magic for people. So you can download that on my website. And what else? The podcast. Oh, yeah. Obviously, if you guys are listening to this, you like podcasts, so you might love High Vibe in it. I also have a co-host. So we're like two sisters like you guys. So it's usually a trio or it's just me and her jamming out on a topic. But she's a hypnotherapist. So she's like the subconscious mind lady. I'm the self-love manifesting lady. And together we just have a fun, giggly, spiritual time to help people live their best lives. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome. I can't wait for your newest book to come out. I'll have to make sure to
Thank
look
you.
for that.
Yes, The Manifesting Fix. Stay tuned. It's supposedly coming out fall of 2026. We don't have a date yet as we record this, but if you just follow me on Instagram, TikTok, get on my Substack, go to my website, just get your email on my list somewhere by downloading a freebie or purchasing something or just sending me a DM, be like, hey, I want to know about your book. Then you can be in the know for when it comes out.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, thanks, Kelsey. This was so great. People are going to have so many takeaways. So
yay.
Amazing.
Thank you, guys. This is so fun.
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so we're going to end the episode with a card pull, and Amanda's doing the honors today. So what's going on?
Okay, so I pulled an oracle card for kind of the theme, and it says deep knowing. And it's about really like getting in tune with our almost like our subconscious self is what I'm seeing here. So getting away from our consciousness and how we can get into our minds and just really sitting in the silence and going inward. And then for the tarot cards, I got Firm Foundation, which is the Four of Pentacles. I got the Lover's card, Five of Pentacles, which is financial and material changes. And then I got Hope, which is the Star card. So another major arcana card. And then I actually got the Devil in reverse. So it was funny when I saw this deep knowing with the Firm Foundation, I actually thought about that Cancerian new moon that is, not Cancer, Capricorn new moon that is coming in for January. And I thought, and then I pulled its card. So I thought that was actually really funny that this feels a lot like work with that, with the new moon in January. So for some of you could be really bringing your focus and attention into your relationship and just like your home and how that things look and really working on bettering your relationship with your spouse or whoever you are. This feels more of a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could even be someone that you're actually living with, because I'm seeing a lot of energy being placed into your home, especially into like, I guess that foundation that you're creating for yourself or you're creating for your family. And for some of you, you could even be deciding that, okay, let's take our relationship to the next level. Some of you actually could be getting married, or else you're thinking, okay, it's time to move in with this person and join our situations together. And the energy feels really good with this hope card, almost like you're being guided by spirit to take these next steps, or you're being guided to really help bring the good energy into your relationship. So even if you have been having, struggles, or you've been, maybe last year was kind of hard, like maybe you had a baby that really rocks the boat of a relationship, right? And I'm seeing this devil card in reverse. It's almost like you need to make a choice. So again, go sit inward and decide, okay, do I want to carry these resentments moving forward into this new year? Or do I want to take control, sit with myself and find my joy inside myself? Because we have to fill our own self first before we can move on to others. And do I want to make this year better? And really sit with that and put that intention out there. I choose to just drop the crap that I'm carrying with me, drop the resentments. And honestly, you guys, it is that easy. Again, I'm reading that Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. So I'm sorry, I'm just spouting out. I feel like I'm just such in that vibe right now. And honestly, I've actually been feeling a lot of like joy and happiness lately because I've been so present, because I'm choosing not to carry those labels with me into this, like, to my now. It's like, yeah, things have happened, and yeah, I've had fights and arguments, and yeah, I didn't like it when they did this, but you know what? It's not happening right now. And how can I control that? So just, yeah, bringing all that awareness. So this is going to be, I think, a good year, and it's the year of the one. So numerology wise, this is the year of the one. So really good time for that fresh beginnings. And really, I encourage you to bring that love and harmony back into your home, into your relationships, and just, of course, yourself. We need to start with ourselves as well and the relationship we have with ourselves. So, yeah, I feel like this feels really good, though.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a nice, like, positive, like, uplifting reading for the beginning of the year. I really love, and that ties into the Cancer and the Capricorn as well. Like, it all kind of came full circle here.
Cancer too, right? Releasing those things that we kind of like to hold on to. That's funny. Yeah, it was a good message.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. And just being intentional about it and just going inwards too, right? And I feel like I need to read that book again. I'm gonna see if I can get it on Audible or like audio. Yeah.
That's where I'm listening to it. So like in the car, at home, like I don't put on TV. I just literally put that book on.
Yeah. Is he narrating it too?
You know, can't remember if he does. There's like three people in it.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
like a man and a woman who ask like questions and then he like talks, right? So it's like,
Oh, I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. I highly
Yeah.
recommend.
Yes. Yeah. The present moment. There's nothing more powerful than the present. So, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And we're gonna drop the date we're gonna pick for the next Reiki circle. And we might actually do it on a Saturday. So some people who are in like Australia, UK, who have different time zones, like 8-hour time differences, can join us because we've been getting requests for it. So we're really going to try to accommodate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the sounds of that as well. Cause yeah, I think it's like 2 a.m. for them, the 7 p.m.
Yes.
for us. So yeah, of course, I would love to connect with other people. So yeah, we definitely will pick a weekend and we'll post about it so people can find it. So you can find that at Living the Reiki Life on Instagram. And I have my personal page at the Birch Soul. And I do remember I said I was going to post more on there. So let's see what happens in the new year.
Setting those intentions.
That's right.
And yes, and I am Reiki with Manda, and we will both be up and running in the new year and excited to work with you. So you can give us a follow there and connect in with us there.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
See you guys later.
Bye.
1, 2,